This post got 1,316 upvotes on Reddit. Here's the story. You want a spotlight? Here you go. So I am the volunteer stage technician at small markets here in the Netherlands. It's great fun. But often the technician is overlooked by artists. Let us say sending in music 8 hours prior to the event has become a meme at this point. So the setup is, here are some top comments.
They're receiving an education in the practicalities of a bigger venue through the courtesies provided at a smaller space. That it pretty damned close to a must-have experience for them. Thank you for guiding them back to reality.
I used to gig as a juggler. Lots of different sizes and styles of venues, so dealt with a range of sound and lighting techs over the years, and plenty of gigs where it was just have you got your music? Lighting juggling is awkward and not something many lighting techs will have dealt with ever. Often it's just a matter of putting up with what you get, as it's going to be too much hassle getting ideal for one short act compared to the rest of the bill. You ask for certain things if possible and work out positions on stage where you won't get blinded for certain moves, or risk hitting the rigging. Anyway. My worst lighting experience. Rushed get-in a medium/small venue, with however lots of decent, new, state-of-the-art sound and lighting, where I'd been booked last minute as a fill-in between bands, so no chance to get a proper tech run on stage. I hand my music to sound and he checks it plays and says he's happy. Lighting tech asks if I've any requirements. I tell him, going from memory here, so forgive if I screw up terms, side lighting please, easy on the overhead as I'll be struggling to see above me if it's too bright, something to do with front fill and house lights. They ask if I want a follow spot, and seem a bit disappointed when I rejected that for not getting blinded reasons. Colors? I showed him my costume and props, told him it was a fairly classy/laid-back act, but the music and pace kicks up a notch in the final third and I'd leave it up to him if he wanted to do something appropriate, usually don't go far wrong keeping things mainly white. First 2/3 of the act goes great, music kicks up, the lighting tech pulls out all the stops with strobes, disco ball, quick phasing dim to full bright overheads, rotating/robotic spinning floor multicolor lights in each corner of the stage, etc. Just glad they didn't have any paras to add to it. Edit. Since there are a few techs in the thread and it might be something they have to deal with at some point, I tried to dig up my old lighting cheat sheet that a few gigging jugglers I knew passed around about general juggling lighting but can't find it. I did a quick and dirty search through some old industry forums to see if anything useful popped up. I never had a full-on lighting plot as it was rare for me to be in the position to need it due to where I mainly gigged. Other jugglers that work cruise ships, bigger stage/theater venues often will. Some jugglers that gig venues with traditionally rope lighting sometimes bring their own battery LED lighting as they've often found the setup unusual. Side uplighting and rear uplighting, onto flats, main thing asked for. -2 rear floor spots, forward/up to light up the props. -50% up front and work up/down from there mentioned. Front spots the worst thing, side/angled spots easier to work around. Bring the house lights up a touch. If feasible, get onto the stage and actually throw and catch a ball, or stand behind the juggler as they throw/catch a prop. This will give you a good idea what they're dealing with and be quicker than a frustrated back and forth between the booth and stage. There's always a balance to things. Audience needs to see the props, the juggler needs to see the props. It's nice for the audience to see the juggler's face/expression and often helps that the juggler can gauge the crowd visually.
Some churches are just as bad, or even worse. Everyone working the lights and sound is a volunteer, so everyone has their own opinions. One guy in particular, who was paid to work one show at the Hollywood Bowl, acted like he was the only person who knew how to run a soundboard. So one Sunday he came in early and rearranged my connections and messed up my presets. It had literally taken a month of Sundays to get it all working to most people's satisfaction. So I asked him what he was doing. He said he was doing the sound from then on. Fine. Throughout that morning services, either the monitors would howl or the people in the back couldn't hear anything, and the pastor ended up shutting off his lapel mic and delivered the sermon while standing between the two front rows. Even with all that going on, it was decided that he would be the sound tech because he was a professional, and I was just an engineer, MSE. I don't know what the fallout was because I changed churches soon after.